I have a great idea,
But I'll
never do it. It might happen. Sure, the monkey's right flat on my butt. I don't think so.
I don't see it happening.
Hey, everyone. It's me, Jon.
And me, Louise.
And you're listening to I Have a Great Idea, but I'll Never Do It. Live on... No, we're not live.
Nah.
Coming to you through your headphones and car stereos and computers. Hey, Louise. How you doing?
I'm pretty good.
What's new? What's cracking?
Well, I'll tell you what's new, and it's going to lead me into my first idea.
Oh, boy. Launch
So-
right into it.
Last night, Christopher and I were just beginning season 4 of The Sopranos. Yes,
Okay.
we've never seen it, and we're that far behind on life. And all of a sudden, drip, drip from our ceiling, all of a sudden, cracks open in the living room, stream, like Rainforest Cafe style, down.
Rainforest Cafe, mentioned in the last episode.
So we're grabbing buckets and pots and
Oh my
bowls,
God.
and we're trying to do this. Needless to say, didn't see that episode of Sopranos, but stellar new idea based on need. It's called, or we can change the name, but I called it the indoor gutter. And it's basically a tarp or a hammock of some kind that you can suction cup onto the wall or 3M mount in a way that's not going to ruin your wallpaper or your paint, and create sort of a high level to a low level, and at the bottom there's a little drain spigot hose so that you can catch all of it and then drain it to one area. In my particular apartment, we have a center wall that divides the larger space, so we have a smaller office area and a smaller living room, but
Right.
it's clearly it's not a support bearing wall. It's just there to separate the space. And I was like, if we could just these two like pieces of a hammock, because the like crack went all the way across our living room and then was like showering in like a line instead of just a corner running down a wall. It was in the middle of the room, and I was like, if only there were a way to get all of this. So
Is everything okay now?
indoor gutter. Oh yeah, there was a rigmarole at like 11:30 last night of running upstairs to our neighbor's house, and she was like, "Oh, I think my refrigerator is leaking," and so there was like water on the floor, and she got her neighbor, and then turns out we don't know. Also, our upstairs neighbors are lovely. We think what happened was that her sink somehow clogged either with like a sponge or a towel or gunk over time. And that since she is a New Yorker and gets takeout and goes out for her coffee and whatever else, that it
Right.
just slowly filled. Like not enough of a leak that you would think. I don't know. I use my sink a lot, so I don't know how it happened. But I imagine that if your kitchen is not in your main space and you don't hear it because you're a little older and maybe hard of hearing, or it's just such a slow build. But we think that the sink is what did it, and then spilled out onto the kitchen floor and then came down in the center of our apartment.
Oh, man.
But a great idea comes from need.
Look at that. At late at night before we record.
Yeah.
And it's also funny because I thought that I was going to have to cancel because we had a leak going on because we have one of those refrigerators that like dispenses water, and it's like a great convenience. But lately it's been like really sluggish, and we're like, man, this thing just sucks. And it turns out that there's like a crack in the little like hose that brings water to it, and that's been slowly dripping and leaking onto a drop ceiling tile in our basement. And Laura recently was just like, this is wet and terribly moldy, so a plumber is coming in 10 minutes. And this is Laura's first week back at work after being on maternity leave, and she wasn't going to be able to be there. So I was going to have to be there. And then Laura actually got sick and is luckily feeling better, a little bit better now. It doesn't have a fever, but still has to like kind of stay home for the day. So she's like, I'll take care of the plumber. And I was like, yes, don't have to cancel with Louise.
Mother, working girl, plumber attendant.
Plumber attendant.
This girl has it all. Don't ever lose her.
She certainly does. She's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll take care of that. I was like, heck yeah.
Yes, wife.
So, yeah, I don't have any ideas. Come
this
on.
is like making me feel like we're such good friends and the universe keeps connecting us.
In the worst ways.
Well,
that's an awful way.
It's not all the ways can be good.
I guess that's true. But yeah, yeah, plumbing incidents, they happen. But yeah, so just a little update. We're what's today's date? The 19th. In a few days, Maggie's going to be 3 months old.
Wow.
I know. And she's like doing great and killing it. And we took a trip to the East Coast for her to visit her family. And unfortunately, Louise decided to go to the West Coast that weekend.
I don't know.
Ships passing in the night. 2
ships passing for a moment in the distance. I don't know.
But I teased up in the last episode that I had some baby related ideas.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go ahead and launch with it. And some of these are actually a little moot now that time has passed and I've figured things out with Maggie to a certain extent.
A new dad.
This is true. So
a newer dad.
Dad.
You're still new.
Look, in the past 3 months, like thousands of dudes have become dads.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you are bottle feeding a child, and let's say you have filled it to 3 ounces, but you're just like, I only want to give them 1 ounce and then I'm going to burp them or something like that. But when you're holding the bottle vertically, there's little like markings to show you how many ounces there are. But when you're holding it horizontally, which is how it is when you're feeding them, you have no idea.
No.
So rather than like taking it out and freaking the baby out and making them go nuts and like checking to see where it is, there needs to be lines on the side, which understandably the bottle would need to be at a very specific angle. So you would need to have a level on the bottle. Yeah. So it's something that's severely lacking in the baby bottle industry.
Yeah. Or I feel like there's got to be some, how they make ergonomic keyboards? There's got to be some like design where it's like, this is the exact degree level for which you hold to feed a baby. And then you can have the slightly horizontal lines in a different color from the vertical lines with the level so that it's measuring it still.
Right. Or just some sort of like electronic device that
measures the volume.
That measures the volume. Yeah.
This is so great. People would buy this.
I think so. It would have certainly helped. Trust me, people spend a ton of money on baby stuff that they use for like a week and then never use again. Mm-hmm. And I should know because that's my life. That's what I've been doing.
I wonder if there's some sort of small business that we could, maybe not though, because it's bodily fluids sometimes. I was going to say, I was just listening to a podcast about arbitrage. Is that what it's called when you like buy low, sell high? Yeah. If you could buy a whole bunch of 1 week old used baby things and then sell them at a higher price, because people are just trying to like, I never use this, I'll get rid of it for $10, and then you could sell it for like $60.
I don't know how it is in New York, but here in Portland, we have a ton of baby consignment stores. And they definitely have bottles there.
I mean, I guess you wash them. I mean, ugh.
Yeah, you sanitize them.
Yeah. People are weird. I feel like in New York, and maybe it's just because that's not the universe that I'm in right now, but I don't see baby consignment stores.
Well, I think that I was even aware of them even before it was relevant to me.
Yeah.
They're just everywhere. You're like,
feel
what's that? And it's like, oh, it's a baby consignment store. Cool.
Cool.
Cool. Moving on.
Yeah.
I have all the time and money in the world. So yeah, that was my first baby bottle idea. I have another baby bottle idea that I could just kind of knock out of the way right now.
Give it.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah.
So, when you are filling bottles or milk storage containers, if you are in a family that pumps milk, you need to keep track of the dates that you are pumping because they're only good for so long in the refrigerator or whatever. So we ended up having to either get pieces of tape and write on them and then remove the tape before we wash it and blah, 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 and so on and so forth, or use a label maker to print out the date, stick it on top, take that off but before you wash it or else it gets all weird. So they all need to have lids that are dry erase.
What a great, simple fix.
I know.
That's
Get
amazing.
on it, baby industry.
Yeah.
Super easy. Yeah, and right now, when I take Maggie to daycare, I have to make sure that her name is written on her bottles. And after a wash or two of the bottles, the name comes off. You know, even writing it with permanent marker, that ain't permanent, FYI. So, well, I guess dry erase would still have the same issue. So anyway, no, just for the bottle tops for storage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a, what an easy thing.
I know. I am a big fan of dry erase, FYI.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
It's good stuff.
It's good stuff. Can have different colors.
You can do whatever. There's dry erase paint. You can paint your wall with, yeah.
What?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't the world crazy?
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking in my head, you definitely wouldn't want chalk stuff for a baby because you get little dust chalk particles everywhere. But dry erase, that's where it's at. And I was like, man, I wish there was something fun about it. Paint? Whoa.
I am almost positive that exists.
Into it.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
Before we move on, I just want to acknowledge that we have received a voicemail at 304-804-IDEA. However, right now I'm recording in my office and don't have my normal setup, so I can't hook it up to play it. So on the next episode, we will for sure be able to listen to said voicemail. Unless you want to do it old-fashioned style and I just hold up the phone to the microphone.
We can wait. I mean,
Okay.
I can wait. I don't know if you can wait. I wonder if the caller can wait.
Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
All right.
While I'm doing that, do you have any cool idea stuff that you want to talk about?
I do.
Okay.
I know that people have been before, if you have an old car, let me just jump in. If you have an old car and doesn't have a little TV screen in it with the GPS built into the car, you have a little Garmin or you have your iPhone that sticks in a little tray or on a suction cup to your windshield to show you on the map where you're going. But why don't we have those clips for commuter bikes? Because sometimes when I see people on their Nike bikes, what do you guys have?
We have, Bike Town.
Bike Town.
Yeah.
And in New York, City Bike. And I see them and they're either in their commuter bike, briefcase in the front, one hand on the handlebar, helmet, hopefully, and a hand holding up a phone. I'm like, no, what if there's a pothole? What if there's a small child running out into the bike lane? What if there's garbage? Both hands on the handlebars, but they're holding their phone either to their ear or they're holding it in front of them for either directions of the map or who knows. But if there's a suction cup for your windshield of your car, there needs to be a temporary clip-on directional thing for your commuter bike. So you
Yeah,
can
just something that has
clip
like a
it
little
on,
latchy, grabby thing to hold
Yeah.
onto your phone.
clip it on, see your directions, clip it off as
Yeah.
you redock your bike. I don't
Seems
have a
like-
special name, but
Seems like a no-brainer to me.
yeah, something with a firm enough grip that
Mm-hmm.
if you do hit a pothole, your phone's not flying off.
Right.
But not so tight that it's taking you an hour to put it on your bike as you undock it because you're just supposed to like be getting home from work, or not so tight that you're gonna somehow hulk out the handlebar and like.
That must be more of a New York thing because I don't typically see people on their phones on the Bike Town bikes.
It must be. And I wonder if it's just like tourists riding the commuter bikes as if they're bike rentals, or if it's that New Yorker is normally a downtown person and they're uptown, even though uptown is a grid. I would do it downtown because downtown streets can be confusing, but whatever. Or if they're a bridge and tunnel, I don't know if they're, I don't know, but I see it and it makes me nervous. And I assume it's not to text. I assume it's for directions.
And even those little like phone clamp things, they're cheap.
Like a good one.
Yeah, a good one is pretty cheap.
Oh, so they already have them?
Oh, well, I mean, just like something to clamp onto your bike that you can attach a phone to.
Yeah. Chris has one for his road bike. But it has a circle and you have to screw it in and then you can pop your phone in and out of it. But I mean like a quick, for a commuter bike.
Right. There are ones that like, because of things like rain and other weather, like a little zippy pouch kind of thing that has a clear front. They're kind of like cheap. So it's kind of like if someone rips one off somehow and steals it, it's fine.
Fine.
Just like a few bucks.
Here I was thinking I had this grand idea.
Well, but the thing is, they need to be globally instituted and like installed on all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. Do you want to listen to this voicemail?
Ay boy. Okay.
Okay.
Old school in it.
I'm hoping that you'll be able to hear it because, okay, yeah, if I do it like that, then it should be fine. Let's see. All right. Here we go. Any second now. It's loading. A voicemail from a caller. 304-804-IDEA.
Hey, my name is Ryan, and I just moved back to New York City, where Louise is from, or currently living, that is. And one of the things that I dislike so much about New York is the fact that it's so dirty. And just recently, I was listening to your episode, and on my walk home, Louise was talking about how people just throw trash out. And then I was thinking, in New York City, you can return bottles for change. You can get money, and people like ravage the streets on recycling days for bottles. What happened, or what would happen if New York City, instead of bottles, or in addition to bottles, we did a program where people picked up trash, and per weight of the trash that you deposit into like a dump, for instance, per weight of that trash, you get paid money. So instead of people digging through other people's already recycled trash, they walk around and they pick up trash on the streets of New York City. They're not only improving New York City and the environment, but people are making money at the same time. That's my idea. What do you think about it?
Okay. All right. I've gotten some criticism in the past regarding this show about how we love every idea that comes in from every caller. And I'm going to be honest. It's true. The fact that people are calling in with their ideas, I love it. And there's no such thing as a bad idea. That being said, I love this idea. I love it.
Also, we we can love the ideas without them ever coming to fruition.
None of these are going to come to fruition.
Hummus, Baskin Robbins is still a dream that's living inside me. Don't shoot it down.
31 flavors of hummus. It's amazing. Okay, regarding this college idea, thank you so much, caller.
Yeah, thanks.
That is a great idea. So I know somebody who I really want to listen to this episode. I'm not going to name names, but I have a feeling that this is something that they could, maybe run up the old flagpole in New York City.
Okay.
If you're listening, you know who you are. And
mysterious.
Yeah, let's see. But yeah, I think it's a really cool idea. I think, litter is a huge problem. We've discussed this. You have almost murdered a person, or rather been murdered because you have been wanted to approach somebody.
More accurate.
Because of litter. Yeah, it's a huge, huge issue.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting.
And another thing, it's roundabout makes New York, other than the fact that it's litter and dirty, it makes New York less efficient and able to fall in love with it because frankly, I think New York's the greatest city in the world. I love it so much. There's no place like it. It's my fave. But all the trash that ends up coming down through the stairs and onto the subway tracks and catches on fire and causes delays. Yeah, I want to murder people down there, especially people who stand down there and throw the trash onto the train tracks. You're not only littering and hurting the planet, you are slowing my day. and so not only planetary implications of picking up this stuff or having birds or raccoons not eat it or whatever's on the streets, rats, whatever.
Pizza rats,
those trained pizza rats. But yeah, it would just be, what a dream it would be. I like the seed of this idea, and whoever you are that's listening that knows who you are, yes, man or woman.
I think that it's something that could actually come to be. That's the thing with this idea, is that it doesn't require technology to catch up to it or anything like that. It just is. It's a program. It's a public program. You just need to set up way stations. Okay, so we do bottle and whatever recycling in Portland, or in Oregon rather, but I don't go and bring my bottles over there. I put them out with the recycling. Yeah. And they get picked up, and I pay somebody to do that. Well, the trash hauling service. I don't pay a servant to bring out my bottles and whatever. And there are people who come around and they collect the bottles for themselves to go to bring to the stations to do it. But it's I don't have the time and motivation and memory to do that. But I know that in large cities, there are plenty of people who could use a few extra bucks.
Yeah.
Benefit from the trash and those disgusting people.
Yeah.
Anyway,
cool.
I love it.
Cool. Yeah. I was even thinking the girl that is my ward. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm a nanny, but she's too old for me. So I don't need a governess. That's a Sound of Music quote. Anyway.
You're her valet.
Whatever. Yeah. Doesn't matter. The girl goes to a private school, and one of their graduation requirements is X amount of community service per semester. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that community service is through volunteering at an organization or, taking someone else to hear a public speaker or reading to little kids at daycare out loud or what have you. There's a million different things. You just have to do the community service, fill out the paperwork, and then the school decides if that will count as your credit for that semester. Anyway, the litter thing idea could be even sort of like a community service for clubs or schools or organizations. Like, you wouldn't even need to throw in the, because who's going to pay the money? Is it the taxpayers' money that's giving you the money out of it? What if it was just like a movement for change and it's volunteering? It's not even, it doesn't have this capitalist.
Well, yeah, or maybe you exchange the litter for, I don't know, coupons for, different food places around town, or discounts on Broadway tickets or something like that.
Yeah, something that wouldn't have to be, because I imagine everybody would be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just go outside and throw my household trash on the ground.
Oh yeah,
leave it for a day, pick it up, and then count that as.
Why do they have to leave it for a day? They could just bring it straight there.
I'm not thinking clearly.
Okay, I'm about to punch another hole in this. So this is just about the weight thing, the weight of it. So when I was growing up, I lived near one of those, arcade places that had like skee ball and whatever else. And you'd get the tickets and then you'd exchange the tickets for something that's worth like 10 cents, even though you spent like $30 there. And now places like that, they have like ticket counting machines. But when I was a kid, what they would do is they would take the tickets and put them on a scale and weigh them.
Wow.
And based on how much it weighed, they knew how many tickets it would be. This is assuming it's more than like 10 tickets that they could just count by hand. So I don't remember if I ever did this, but I knew that people would wet some of the tickets like in the middle of their clump of tickets to make them weigh more.
Whoa. Everything is legal in New Jersey.
That's what you're learning from The Sopranos, right?
Yeah. I actually learned that from Hamilton, but...
Oh, is that true? I haven't seen it yet.
I don't know. I mean, those are lyrics. I don't know if it's true.
Oh, well, fair enough. I guess maybe at a time.
At a time,
It was a thing. But yeah, anyway, we can move on from that idea. But I do love the heart behind it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too, because so many ideas we have are for like products that only a certain niche of people need. But this is something everyone benefits from. Or
they're ideas like the one that I'm about to say, which is a bowling alley called Memory Lanes.
Oh!
And what you do is you bring photos of your 10 childhood enemies. And they are uploaded to these bowling pins that have digital faces on them so that you can see your childhood enemies, assuming you've got childhood enemies, and you bowl and knock those bullies down.
Nice. Oh,
I couldn't name that many, mean kids from my childhood.
Why does it have to be 10 different ones? Why couldn't you have one childhood enemy and put them on all the pins? That's
true. So 1 to 10 childhood bullies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is
Memory
amazing.
Lanes.
Memory lanes. So good. So good. All right. Here's an idea I've got.
Okay.
As we are, what did we say today was? October 19th? Whenever it comes out, it's around the time of spooky, ooky holidays.
Okay.
And I often feel like I will see people either at work or on the street and be like, oh, that person should be so-and-so for Halloween because that is the vibe they are giving me right now. But I wonder if anybody's ever told them. For instance, there's this internet sensation man. This is not new. It's not even new to me, but my friend group is really into it. It's the Trololo Man. He's this Russian singer, and apparently the song has words, but it was made internet famous or famous before that because he changed all the words to just Trololo for more accessibility. But
Okay.
there's also a Family Guy spoof on it. It's not new.
Really? I've never heard of this before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have, I think. I'll send it to you. But the guy's
Okay.
like, "Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, ho, 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 ho." Anyway, I saw a guy at the grocery store and I was like, oh, that guy should totally be Trololo Guy for Halloween. But I didn't know how to like just go up and say this to a dude. And then I thought, what if people think that about me? Or I have groups of friends who are always like, what are you and Chris and Roland going to be for Halloween? And I know
I love
that
how
they
Roland
ask
is
me-
always included.
Oh yeah, he's in it. And I know that they're asking me partly because they're curious, but also partly because they know how excited I am to explain.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah.
like I just love Halloween, and I'm often picking my Halloween costume for the next year on November 1st.
Right.
So I thought, what if there was like a group costume or a couple's costume or a solo costume idea generator where you could upload a picture, from Facebook or whatever, and it would be like, you should be so-and-so for Halloween. Even if it's not, a current thing, not everything has to be topical.
Right.
Or, you can enter your age. You can, maybe answer a 10 question questionnaire like, I don't like pop culture. Me and my girlfriend are into, cop shows on TV, and it's hard to find girl cop show costumes without us just being police officers, and I don't want to be that. Or, so maybe then you could answer these questions and then the internet poofs out an idea that's like, you should be whatever it should be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think that
Trololo
far in
guy.
advance. Trololo guy. Like or the girl that I work with for, her group of friends, and there's like 7 of them, are always like, what are we going to be for Halloween? And last year I was like, you know what you guys should be? You guys should be the Rockford Peaches.
That's a good idea.
And they were all like, we've never seen that movie. So that was the first issue. I know. But I think
Did you force them to watch it?
Not yet. I know. I think last year they were like just Greek goddesses. So they wore like togas and gold jewelry. And then the year before that, they were the Taylor Swift Bad Blood crew. Because they're just different. I think, anywho, sometimes, I don't know, I think people forget you could be, one person's kind of tall and one person's kind of short. You guys should be Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito and be twins. Just because.
Or Mario and Luigi.
Oh.
I'm going to piggyback off that idea.
A generator.
Okay, so there's the generator, but then there's also kind of the way that you were describing this scenario in the first place, which is just walking around in, day-to-day life. So I'm thinking that, like, let's say end of September through October 31st, beginning part of the day, it's common practice for people to walk around with kind of like backpacks that say on them, what should I be for Halloween?
Yes.
And they have like Post-it notes in a little slot, and people can like write stuff down and pop it in there. Or just wear like t-shirts and be like, help me think of what I should be for Halloween. And then people will stop and be like, you should totally be Trololo Guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of taking away the fear of, oh my God, am I going to seem like a crazy person? Because you're giving people permission to be like, talk to me, tell me, guide me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know Trololo Guy is like a really deep cut, but this guy that I saw at the grocery store, he just had the same facial structure, the same like eyes, the same, if you brushed his hair over instead of having it be kind of spiky, it would have been perfect. You wouldn't even need to buy a wig. It was just like, I wish I could just say to you, weird stranger, like, do you know what you're going to be for Halloween? Because you should be this.
Louise, do you know what you are going to be for Halloween?
I do. I knew last year
Of course,
what I was going to be this year. Last year, Chris and Roland and I were Harold and Maude, and
Right.
Roland was a sunflower. This year, we are going to be Ferris Bueller, Sloan Patterson, and Road
Nice.
Dogg is going to be Cameron Fry.
Of course.
And
love
I
it.
have been acquiring pieces for this Halloween costume for about 11 months.
That's amazing. I love it. What should Laura and Maggie and I be? Daisy is going to be at doggy boarding camp because she can't handle doorbells. So sending
makes
her off
sense.
to camp.
That makes sense.
So what should Laura and Maggie and I be?
Now,
You don't
you
have to
really
come
put
with
me.
it right
yeah,
now.
I was like, you really put me on the spot because I didn't have a whole lot of time.
Yeah,
but I was
so-
thinking maybe Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear.
The one thing that I had thought of would be Laura and I would be Mulder and Scully, and Maggie would be an alien.
So good.
Yeah, but
So
like,
good.
I have the issue where like I have to think of things that would require somebody who wears glasses, because I've done somebody who doesn't wear glasses before and I can't see.
Can't see.
And then when you're somebody who doesn't normally wear glasses and you wear glasses, the costume doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll
So,
muse on this and I will get back to you.
Yeah, you get back to me and then we'll let the audience know, who definitely doesn't care.
Nice.
Let's talk about our challenges from last time.
Let's do it. You
wanna
want me to go first? Okay, cool. Yeah. Last time you gave me fish tank bowl solutions.
Oh yeah. So weird.
It is kind of weird. So I normally come up with like 10 ideas, and this one was super, super hard for me. Quick question. Mm-hmm. Did you ever have fish growing up?
No, I had frogs that were like aquatic frogs.
Okay. I had fish, and it's so weird that Chris and I just talked about this, but he had said we have about 4 SodaStream bottles, and we put them in a line in our refrigerator. So we're constantly just taking the first one
Right.
and then making it soda water and drinking it and then refilling it and putting it right back in the row.
Oh yeah.
And we're not getting the other ones, but then we'll, like, let's say throw a little bit of a party at our apartment and we'll be getting the other bottles to then make soda because we don't want to waste the carbon if it's just going to sit in the fridge then. And he's convinced that the water is then stale. And I said, well, it's not really stale. It's just distilled. And he was like, no, that's a different thing. And I said, no, any water is distilled water if you just let it sit for a couple of days. And he was like, nuh-uh. And I was like, yeah. And the reason I know this is because if you have fish growing up, I did. And I even had a little fish graveyard in the backyard. Thanks, Mom, for letting me
God.
for letting me have that. Yeah, I buried them. Some of them I flushed, but little headstone and everything. But you can't just put water from the faucet into a fish tank because you'll kill your fish. It has to be distilled water. In any case, this has nothing to do with my idea other than I wanted to talk about the water. Sometimes I feel like if you had a big enough tank and if it wasn't an actual bowl or globe sphere, if it was more of a rectangular tank, or the bowl was like a cheese wheel, so that there's like
Okay.
flat sides, you could have sort of a windshield wiper, and maybe we call it a fin shield wiper.
Oh my God.
And you put it in with your fish and you just draw up the side of the tank, and then with like a towel or whatever, wipe off the fish poop or whatever happens to be growing in there. And it doesn't solve the huge problem of
Right.
stuff on the bottom, but sometimes you have pebbles, and first you need to net the fish out and then put it in temporary water and then get all of the pebbles out and wash the petals and then dump the bowl and then wash the bowl and then refill it and then like gently put your fish back in it. But I was like, what if you didn't need to do that every time? What if you changed the water like once every, I don't know how long, because it's been forever since I've had fish, but you cleaned it just enough with your fin shield wiper to get enough of the grossness out without having to really clean the whole thing every time.
I love the name of it.
Yeah.
That's so good. Here's a question. What is fish food? What do fish eat?
I think it's dehydrated algae. Like there's these little flakes, but I think it's just dehydrated algae.
It's like, these dry little flaky things. I just I'd never even thought of what it could possibly be before.
I think it's like kelp or algae or like dehydrated.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious. Cool.
And there's different like kinds of fish. Like I always had freshwater fish. I never had saltwater fish. And I'm sure cleaning that kind of a tank is even more complex. But I didn't have the knowledge to go off of that idea. So these were just freshwater fish solutions.
Sure. Which is more common. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was a weird challenge. But that's why they're challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're supposed to be challenging.
And it was.
And it was. So you challenged me to pet baths.
Oh, that's right. I was going to say, what was it?
So this is a tricky one. And Daisy hates being bathed. She doesn't like to get wet. We have just entered the rainy season and she is not loving it. She does enjoy getting dried off. So what I was thinking was like, and this could definitely exist and I just have no idea, but like a powder that you put on them and then when they go out in the rain, it's activated and it's kind of like a shampoo. And then the rain just kind of, I know that rain isn't clean water, but like the shampoo might, counteract that. And then, it kind of washes them off. And when you get back in the house, you just dry them off and they're good to go. It might not be like a thorough pet bath solution, but it's at least a patchwork idea or a towel that has like a dry shampoo kind of thing in it.
Yeah.
That, you just kind of like rough around with them and they get clean that way. They're still not going to be as clean as they would be if they had like a thorough bath.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
I think these are both like really great ideas. No, I do. Because I was thinking my guy doesn't like to get baths either and he hates the rain.
Yeah.
But if you could just knock out two things that he hated with one thing, then he'd only have to do one of them.
Right. I always get so mad when I see adorable videos of like dogs being super chill in the bath. And it's like, how dare you mock me?
Or like a dog in a really, really cute raincoat, happy to just walk outside in his raincoat. My dog would be like, get this raincoat off me.
Yeah. No, not happening. That's what I got.
Cool.
Yeah. Challenges for the next episode.
Okay.
You got something?
I do.
Okay.
Skillets.
Skillets. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just skillets.
That's all I want to say. Yeah, skillets. I don't know if there's a problem or something to be improved on or a way to store them or wash them or use them or
Okay.
Just skillets.
Just skillets. Okay. I like it. I'm actually going to write it down because what I find myself doing is like the morning that we're about to record, I'm like, oh yeah, what was the challenge? I got to listen to it. Challenge skillets. Okay. So your challenge for the next episode, and this may be the hardest one yet. Your challenge is to come up with an idea for a way for me and you to have a better recording schedule.
Okay, I'll work on it. Okay, this might be the hardest one.
This is going to be the hardest one. babies require a lot of attention and time, everybody. And Louise and I being on 2 different coasts, 3 hours time difference, doesn't always make things easy. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sticking it out with us, you guys. Like
Well,
waiting on bated breath for our next
I know.
episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I don't think that there's anybody out there that's just like, where's the new one? Where is it?
I feel like your limb just snapped because people text me often and say, didn't get a new episode.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No one's texted me.
It's one of our 4 listeners. No, I'm just
It's
kidding.
one of our 4 listeners. Is it one that we are related to?
Yes.
Okay, it's Mare.
Yeah. Hey, Mare.
Mare is such a gem. And look, if you want to know what ideas your daughter and I have,
Just call us.
You have our contact information. You can ask us personally. You can get the inside scoop. Just be like, hey, what are you thinking of talking about on the next step?
Nice.
And we will tell you.
Or, fly to either one of our homes, do a little childcare for Jon and Laura.
Oh.
Come to NYC and visit, and you can be live on a pod again.
I know. She was so great. Yeah, seriously, watch my child so that we can record. So, yeah, I want to thank everyone for listening. Check out our Patreon page if you want to make a donation to us that might help us make things a little bit easier for scheduling stuff. If you make a donation, we do have some prizes. Limited edition stuff. So check it out. If you want to be waiting for other episodes of other podcasts, subscribe to Louise to Beaver.
Yes. I was just at brunch with some folks of another generation, and they said, what are you doing lately? What are you up to? And I said, this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and also Louisa to Beaver. And one gentleman sitting next to me was so motivated to learn how to podcast, listen to podcasts, because he said, I was born in X year, and I remember watching that show for 15 years. Whether it was like syndicated versions, like I would watch that show. I love that show. And I said, you're about to love it again.
I want to give a shout out. Well, first of all, Leave It to Beaver has officially been around for 60 years, but also now we've officially passed that mark. But also, it was recently the anniversary of Barbara Billingsley's death. So shout out the Billingsley family, I guess. June Cleaver. The one who started it all. Yeah, listen to that podcast. It's ridiculous. Louise and I have so much fun with it. And we hope that you enjoy it too. Call in your ideas, 304-804-IDEA.
It's nice to bounce it around.
We are here for you and your ideas.
Yeah. I mean, we can chit and chat about our ideas until the end of time, but it's fun. Today was really fun.
It's always fun.
I mean, but
it's more fun when we have a caller with ideas.
I would have never thought of that, too. I just would have been disgruntled forever.
Well, you're going to be disgruntled forever. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah. Jon, thanks for hanging out with me.
Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
I don't see it happening.